Well, greetings boat fans, Sherz Linz here, and it's that time again. We're on our final night here on our week's holiday, so as is tradition when we have a new boat, just do a little boat review for those of you who are trying to pick a boat for your upcoming holiday and looking for something to pick. This might be one in your shortlist. This is Concerto 1 from Richardson's, of course. Having had a few days aboard, we'll give you a fairly balanced opinion of what we think of it, and we'll give you a bit of a look round and see what you think. So here's Concerto as it appears on Richardson's website. You can see here from the features it's a full berth cruiser. It's got two bedrooms. One's got a double in it. The other bedroom has got a pair of bunk beds. A couple of things that this one's got that previous boats we've had haven't had. It's got a proper 240 volt system on board. It's also got a microwave that Linz has quite enjoyed having use of. If we look at the costing for it, I've just looked it up on the website, and picking around the same time next year as we've just been, you're looking at a total cost of £643, which, to be fair, for a Broads holiday is still pretty cheap, and we tend to go for the budget end boats, as you probably know. So this is Concerto. It's one of 4, maybe even 5 boats I believe Richardson's have got in their fleet. Fairly standard bathtub design. And if we head for the back door first then. Be warned, if you are not too sure on your feet, it's quite a steep step down, and the door is probably about, I would say, about 15 inches wide, so if you're no stranger to the pie shop, you might have to squeeze through here a bit. Okay, so having made it through the back door, you're sort of first presented with this sort of corridor area. The first door nearest the back door is your toilet come shower cubicle. Now there is only the one toilet on this boat, but it's well appointed enough. The toilet works, it's got a shower that's nice and warm, no complaints there. You've got a sink there. It's also got a razor point for those of us that still use electric razors. Does anybody still use those anymore? But there's also some storage underneath, which is handy. If you're going to have a shower, make sure you move your bog roll and stick it in the cupboard, or it will get soaked. And also, don't forget to press the shower drain button when you're finished, otherwise all the water just sits in the floor. So the next room along from the toilet contains the 2 bunk beds, and that's where Linz has been staying for the last 7 nights. Reasonable sized bunk beds, just for laughs. I did try climbing in, and you can fit a 6'10" bloke in there, but it's a bit of a squeeze. Fortunately, Linz is fairly child sized, so that was alright. You've got an electric point in there, you've got lighting for the bunks. There's some shelving and a wardrobe there. So moving on from that cabin, we walk down the corridor a little bit and you come to the double cabin. Now that's where I've been spending the week, just because I'm the tall one. As you can see, reasonable sized bed. I slept alright in there. We've got a cupboard down the end there. We've got the wardrobe, which is too shallow to actually use the coat hangers that come with it. As you can see, you can't quite shut the door once you've got stuff on the hangers, but hey, what can you do? Plenty of storage under the bed, and of course the obligatory 240 volt socket. There we go, from the cabins to the kitchen area. There's plenty of storage in the kitchen, and of course we've got a microwave, which we've never had before, which has been very useful. Standard boat fridge, nothing much to say about that. This is the sort of entertainment and electronics area of things. TV, which has got DVD player and USB input. Stereo there, radio CD player. This also does Bluetooth. And it's got an auxiliary socket if you want to plug something else into it. Power for the telly, aerial socket, and importantly, 240 mains that can be had off another switch. More storage down here. Extra cupboards there, and the kitchen area itself, pretty standard fare. We've seen this on most of the boats. There's nothing very unusual about that. One thing we did point out this year though, normally Richardson's give you a little box with washing gear in it, like sort of washing up cloths and fairy liquid, that kind of stuff. We didn't get that, so we've had to improvise with one of Linz's socks and a bottle of shampoo. It was a new pair of socks, just to point out. Not a stinky mingy one. Again, plenty of storage space. You've got the drawer there, 2 cupboards under there, and Linz has found a secret hiding place for things. If you need a bit of extra storage, you can lose some stuff under there. How about that? And a little cupboard there as well. as for the sort of living area, you've got a 3-seater sofa with a dog and a Linz upon it. Hello.
Hi.
Sofa's comfortable enough. We've spent many an evening watching telly on this. Joe seems to approve. He takes it over most of the time. So as we enter the cockpit area, this should be pretty familiar territory to anybody that's ever hired one of these before. You've got your controls down here for the heaters, bilge, pump and horn. Normal throttle controls there, gauges, RPM, oil temperature, voltage, nothing out of the ordinary there. What I would say though, in terms of starting it first thing in the morning, this thing is a bugger to start. With any diesel engine you have to run the heaters for a few seconds to get things going before you turn the key. Normally sort of 10-15 seconds will do it. We were running this heater for like best part of a minute before it eventually fired up. We thought we were going to be ringing the boatyard at one point, but hey ho. So viewing position from the front, well, for a forward drive cruiser, it's okay. It's not too bad. 2 little niggles I picked up. I might be just being picky here, but there's no horizontal surface on here for things like an ashtray or a cup of tea or anything like that. There's nowhere to put anything, so I had to improvise one of those with a hook that I found here. So yeah, that's been, yeah, ashtray. We're dirty people. And my other niggle was there was nowhere nearby to plug in 12-volt things. If you want to charge your phone or use a sat-nav, or in my case I've got a GoPro stuck to the window, plug it in was a pain. There's normally a 12-volt socket sort of somewhere nearby, but not on this boat. We've had to run a wire down through here, along down here, doodly-doo, diddly-doo, along here, down there, and then in the end, I had to run it off the 240-volt circuit, which is really wasteful of electric, because the 12-volt socket is all the way down here, nowhere near where people are. If it was me, and I was designing this boat from scratch, 12-volt socket should have ideally been there, or if you're being really fancy, somewhere in the cockpit, but hey, it's one of those things. But overall, it's a very nice living area down the front here, plenty of storage, and only last night did I find there's actually even more storage than I thought. If we undo this, you could lose a whole load of baggage and stuff down there. Oh well, better late than never. Right, you join me here in the bow end of the boat. This is the little well deck bit. It's not as big as the one on Bright Horizon, I think. It's a little bit more cramped for space, but still, it's a usable space to have. If we're moored side on, I always find this is the easiest way to get the dog on and off, just because you've got a bit more room in the well deck to turn the dog around, and we have to carry him off because he's not very good with his legs. But yeah, this is the main way on and off when we're moored side on. And as you can see, the side of the deck's wide enough to walk down okay fairly safely, and of course there's guardrails up, so you can walk from one end to the other without too much difficulty. So there you go, that's Concerto 1 from Richardson's. Not without a couple of little niggles, but nothing major. Linz, what did you think? Have you enjoyed yourself this week?
No, not at all.
No? No. Oh dear, that's not good.
Yeah, I meant little boat.
Yeah.
No complaints.
What did you make of the bunk beds though?
Well, I've slept, because I had the bunk beds this year, small single, but I've managed. I'm only small anyway, so yeah, I'm all good.
But yeah, from the design of the sleeping arrangements, clearly this is a boat that's designed for, you know, two parents and a couple of kids. It would be perfect for that, so can't knock it. So there you go. If you're a mum and a dad with a couple of kids and looking to get on the Broads for not too much money, this is one of Richardson's more budget-in boats, as we always have. But no, it's worth a look. So consider Concerto 1 for your next holiday. But whatever you do, I hope you enjoy your Broads trip. And from me, Sherz.
From me, Linz.
We'll see you again very soon. Bye.